So you have seen a couple of ways how external mats can be really useful. This is going to be a little different. We're going to create a background. And what you're going to turn in today isn't anything as complicated as this. In fact, it will be using more of the first two video demos rather than this third one. But I just wanted to show you this because it's layering multiple mats together. So in this case, I have two specific mats. I have the one on the left, which is a smaller one, and the one on the right, which is a larger one. And in the one on the left, we are going to fill it with not just one, but two stills, and the one on the right with two videos. So you see here, and they'll dissolve together. So the first thing we'll do is create the background. Now, we have been using this little icon in the project window. So if I click New Item, I'll see here I could even create a color mat if I like. Okay, it's 720 by 480, the size of the background I was just using. So I could create it any color I want, but let's say for now I'm just going to use kind of a gold color and say OK. So there's my color mat, and I'm going to place it on my background layer. Now, if I wanted to add some shading to that mat, I might want to do that and go into Effects, and let's try a gradient. We're going to look for ramp. And under Generate, we have ramp. Okay, so it goes right now from a black to a white very softly. And so I could click on here and create different colors with that ramp. I'm going to get back to my gold color, and that will be my bright color. Let's see, maybe right about there. And then my black will be kind of a dark gold. Okay, maybe like that. So it's just kind of a soft background. So we're going to start with a small mat on the left and a larger mat on the right, and fill it with one still and then the video. We're going to start with the food still. Okay, and we're going to put that on the left side. So let's go find that small mat small, and place it above it. Okay, so I'm going to move it over, in fact, and try to scale it up a little bit and kind of pretend like I'm going to cover that food background, because I see here that my food is in the center. So let's kind of place that mat around the food. So now we know that in order to have the food still be the fill, we go over to our effects and go to Track Mat Key and place that on our food still. And of course our mat is a black and white mat, and so what we need is to use the Mat Luma. And also our mat is on layer 3. Okay, so that looks pretty good. The food is fitting nicely in the mat. However, we need to make it smaller and move it over to the left. So instead of clicking on the mask to do that, I want to just leave it as it is, and I'm going to click on the food and make it a little smaller and move it over to the left. Okay, so it's the fill that's defining the size and the location. So it's fill, mat, and we're going to have another fill and another mat. Okay, let's go back. So what we're going to do now is take the video, and that's Amity 2 Class, that was the name of the restaurant. And if I bring it over here, I see that here is a guy and he's serving food. We're going to dissolve into the food section. So we're going to have to cut off, using our razor blade tool, the first part of the video. And I'm going to just select this little section here as the fill for my larger mat. So I'm going to place this over here just temporarily. Okay, and there he is. And let's go get the larger mat large, and put that on week 3. We're going to now, again, scale this down a little bit, and I'm going to try to place it over him. I'm just guessing about the location. Now, the only difference between this and this section is we have to move this section up to the next layer. Okay, so we're going to move it up to the next layer. We're going to get the fill here, which is the guy serving, and we're going to go into Track Mat Key, and again, put that on the fill. Okay, so again, it's the Luma of the mat that we're using, and it's now video 5. Okay, and there he is. So he's almost the right size, and he is nicely fitted in that mat. Let's see, I'm going to take again the fill and position that over a little bit, and they're almost the same size, but not quite. So let's go back to the food still and actually make that a tiny bit smaller. Okay, so they're almost in a good location, and I'm going to move that over a little bit here, and there they are, the 2 mats and the 2 fills. Okay, we like that so far. Now the trick is to get the second part in. So next we're going to use the picture still, and we're going to dissolve and keep it on the same layer as the food still. So here's our food still, and here's the picture layer, and I'm going to apply just a simple dissolve. Of course, you see here that the picture still needs to fit inside the small mat as well. So we're going to take the food still, and I'm going to copy Control-C, track mat key, into my picture still from layer 3. Okay, so the only problem is that we need the fill to match the fill of this food still as far as size and location. So it's working well, but we just need the size and the location to be the same. So if I click on food still, I see that the scale is 66. So I could even copy and paste those values into the picture still, or I could just simply type them in. Okay, so now we have the same size. Okay, so now how about the location? Okay, I'm at 240 and 176, and my picture still wants to be 240 and 176. Okay, so there's my dissolve of my 2 pictures. Okay, so now let's add the video. So I'm going to come over here and find a new section of the video that I want, right about here maybe. And of course I don't need any audio, but that's good. Okay, and make sure there's enough handle to dissolve from the guy serving. Okay, so here's my video, and I'm going to apply my default dissolve. And that's that. Okay, so that looked pretty good as far as the dissolve goes. So now we need to add track mat key, Command-C, over here. I'm going to extend the mat and place it in the video also, the second video. And there we are. Okay, and there's a second video. Now what we need to do is just find again the fill. It's a scale 100%, 469, 240. And we see here 100%, 469 needs to change, 469. And we pop that into place. Okay, so there we have it.